Now stay in here, I want to tell you some things in here.
Okay.
Okay.
What's your name?
I'm the flower of the family.
you're Rose.
Yeah. As my brother would say, yes, that's Rose, the flower of the family, the blooming idiot.
Oh.
We grew up to like each other. So the first thing I want you to notice is how plain it is in here. Plain walls, plain ceiling, plain. They didn't spend money decorating the staff scene. So this is the area, had the only running water in this area. And that's where the staff took their meals and did the pre-cooking preparation. That was the sink for this area. So over here you have the GE refrigerator. Now that's refrigerator, not ice box. It was a GE running refrigerator. So now in here the cabinets are all original. The hood is original. We put this in when we were still having big events so that we could take care of that. This table and the metal on the table are original to the house, and this metal is Monel, the precursor to stainless steel. The countertops are original till we get to here, and one of the other owners of the house wanted to have running water in this area, so they took out a cabinet and put in this sink unit here so that they had running water. Excuse me. So now pretend that you were staying upstairs in one of the 5 bedrooms, 5 baths, and it's evening and you decide you would like to have a cup of tea. It's a big house. How do you communicate with the staff? Easy. There's a button in each room. You press the button. There's a number of your room lights up here. The staff sees it. They go to your room to find out what you need.
Yeah, I'm pretty smart.
My husband says he has that. He just stands in one room and hollers, "Rose!" Now, how does the staff in a big house like this communicate with the staff? Mr. Buck solved that problem if you'll step this way. 1932 intercom system.
Wow.
Oh my God.
Wow.
There's a unit here, one upstairs in the female staff area, one over in the garage in the male staff area, and one in Mr. Buck's office. So they could communicate without having Rose. Any questions in here?
1930s, huh? Wow. That was
Any questions?
1930.
Okay, let's move
Wow.
into the butler's pantry.
Oh, wow.
Okay, we're
Look at
going to
this
talk
door.
about this area.
The door is going wrong.
So this is where you went behind this door here, then in the staff area, the butler was in charge. If you've seen Upstairs, Downstairs, or you've seen Downton Abbey, you know the power that the butler had. So that was here. He supervised the plating, the serving, everything in this area in the house. In fact, the whole house. And so the sink over here, again, is Monel, the precursor to stainless steel. And this is where they washed the dishes, washed the pots and pans. That was the dishwashing area. This is the storage area for all the china, silverware, etc. that they used in the formal dining room. Now this floor is not original to the house. It was changed in 1990, and I often have people say, "Oh, Grandma had that in her house," and some people say, "Oh, I had that in my house." And so, but this table and the linoleum on the table are original to the house. This is what is called battleship linoleum, and that was built here on this table, and so it is original to the house. So it was originally made for floors to help the sailors have a little padding as they walked around on the ship. This door is very unusual, for it goes to a basement. Unusual because the state of Florida has very high water table, and it's difficult to have a basement. But remember, you're on the second highest point in Florida, plenty of room for a basement.
Wow.
Down there, there is a safe room, and the door looks just like a bank vault door. And that's where he put his very expensive items when he was not in residence. There is a boiler for the hot water that would sit in here if you put it against that wall over to about that door, and it's about that big around. There is also an electrical room, and it is a finished basement, and so plenty of storage down there also. Now, the third owner of the house had some physical difficulties. She took out the stairway that went to the the staff end of the house, and put in the elevator that you can see the bottom of, and there's some of the mechanism there. Of course, we cannot use it anymore. Safety concerns will not allow us to use that at all. Any questions in here?
No.
Step into the dining room. Now, the first thing I want you to notice when you come in here is the great difference between the walls, the ceilings, everything in here as opposed to what is in here. Ed, you can't leave.
I'll be right back. I just got.
Okay, you got my
Gotta get
permission.
water.
He's the biggest character in the world. We have more fun. So, this is the formal dining room. The only meal served in here was the evening meal with gowns and tuxedos, and very formal. The other meals of the day were served buffet style, either on one of the porches or out in the gardens.
Oh, okay.
So here where you see how the gardens were designed, the house was to go in the gardens. These are pocket doors. They open all the way back into the wall onto a screened porch.
Low.
From here on, when you were downstairs, any place that you see these big doors, they will be pocket doors that will slide into the wall, and there will be screening so you have an open area but no bugs.
Mm-hmm.
Every one of these doors, there will be a different kind of garden behind each of the doors.
Mm-hmm.
So here's your formal meal, and Mr. Buck always sat in this position. We think it's because he liked to look at the garden out here. And one of the guests needs a glass of water. How does he communicate with the staff? There's a button under his chair. He taps it with his foot. The light lights up in there, and the staff come in to see what they need.
Oh.
Any questions in here?
The table looks
Okay, step right in the west
The
tower.
table looks a little low.
Okay, you stop right here. Let me see if I can get Ed to this up. Excuse me.
I'm really fascinated
Ed,
with
can
the
you
door.
take care of another group coming in the kitchen? Ed's going to tell you about the towers. This is the west tower. You'll go upstairs in the east tower.
Did you give them the propaganda in the round room?
No, I have
Oh,
not.
okay.
So he will embroidery. So, okay.
Well, this little room, it's the base of the west tower. There's two towers in the house. And anyway, we think this room was used for cocktails before dinner was served. So if you can imagine coming in and you sit fixing yourself a Manhattan, and Mr. Kinnear would open the door and say, dinner is served, and you say, oh, okay, fine. And the other unique thing about the house, or in this room, is this door here. This is a door that he found in Bavaria, West Germany. It's a hand-carved door, and I guess he really loved it, that he brought it back and gave it to his architect and said, put it in my new house. And it ended up being a closet door. So the staff here is ecstatic. They think it looks just like a hand carved door to me, and nothing special, but it's here. What it is. You can see the thickness of the walls. It's kind of demonstrated under the 3 windows there. One we were fortunate enough to get the AC through. The walls are 18 to 24 inches throughout the house, and it depends on what's got, support up above. It determines their thickness, and of course it's field tile on in the center, and stucco on the outside and plaster on the inside. So. Did anybody say anything about the Della Robbia? Della Robbia. The original one is in the dining room above the stair as the swaddled Christ child, and that was Bucks had it here. This one and the one above the other of this young lady here was acquired in '96 at an antique auction or whatever, and because of Bucks' original to the original of the house, they added 2 more. So at Della Robbia, they were artists, Italian artists in the 14th century. So,
Wow.
so this stuff's really, that stuff is all copies. It's not the original. And I don't even know where the originals would be, but I'm sure they'd be under lock and key someplace, if they still exist. So, any questions? Come on, let's go to the lower hall.
I like that one.
The significance of this